My first reroll in Path of Exile 2 was the first time I tried to cook a unique build in this game. The idea was to go for a Gemling Legionnaire and stack intelligence and mana to boost the damage of Decaying Hex and Burning Inscription. The build uses the Black Flame Ring to convert Burning Inscription's ignited ground to chaos damage, making it profit from chaos damage taking sources such as Despair and Wither. I did some rudimentary testing on an Act 1 boss and the interaction actually seemed to work. I never got to truly test out the character because it was just so bad. The plan was to go for the attribute node of Gemling to boost our potential intelligence and mana. In the end, Decaying Hex always felt so terrible that I opted into +1 gems to at least deal a little bit of damage with Essence Drain. There is currently very little support gems in the game that make the Chaos Dot suit a viable build. For Essence Drain, you even have to resort to weird gems such as Drain Ailments. Decaying Hex and Burning Inscription can't be boosted by any damage links at all because you're actually linking them to a curse and there are no damage supports for curses. What's even worse is that I found no real way to increase the size of the ignited ground. Bosses and enemies move a lot in PvE2, so I would have to constantly recast my curse. Curses cost a ton of mana in PvE2, even too much mana for my mana character to handle. This character was also using some unique boots that make curses instant. Those felt really nice to play, but they have also very little movement speed, which felt super bad. Especially again in a game like PvE2, where you don't have good mobility, baseline, and the maps are huge and the monsters move fast. I think you really want more movement speed on your boots. Before I respec to Mind Over Matter, I had decent wands for leveling and basically all Chaos Dot nodes on the tree. The damage was still super disappointing. I also felt very squishy all throughout the campaign, reaching the pinnacle of squishiness in like Act 2 Cruel, where I chain died over and over. I eventually bought a shield, which solved the problem, making it possible for me to progress. But using the shield came at a price, so I dealt even less damage. The only reason this character was able to make it through the campaign at all was due to wither scaling. Jewels seem incredibly potent in PvE2, and I found out that jewels can have up to like 15% wither effect, which boosted the damage of Essence Drain Contagion by a lot. Wither is also the only damage multiplier we have for Decaying Hex. After dying to the first Mana Siphon enemy I met in my first map, I basically immediately quit the character and started cooking something new. Overall, I think this build has potential, but it's just too early into the game to really tell. Support gems are still missing, and our gear is really bad. We're still exploring the game. Only time will tell. At the moment, I feel like even if the entire Chaos Dot suit dealt like 3 times the damage, it would be a C-tier build or worse. It's really bad. You press a lot of buttons, and those buttons can be very awkward for not a lot of payoff. For example, the Dark Effigy is kind of nice, but it only hits enemies affected by a Chaos Dot, which then again makes it super awkward. Curses have an inherent delay for some reason now, and Contagion has like weird targeting issues. There is a lot of issues with this build. I think Gemling, Intelligence and Mana stacking has a lot of potential in the future. I would want to utilize the 30% less mana cost the Ascendancy provides to reduce the cost of Spark. Pathing down near the increased attributes node, you're also near a Lightning Damages Lucky node, which seems very good. The main problem will be that this character really wants to be fully ascended. In the current state of PvE2, I don't think it will ever be able to do that without like playing a really different powerful build beforehand.